The night shift at the small-town diner was always quiet, just the hum of the neon sign outside and the faint clatter of dishes behind the counter. But that night, something was different. The smell of fresh coffee mixed with the sound of muffled sobs. She was cleaning quietly, her hands trembling as she wiped the same table again and again, until a single dad sitting by the window noticed the tears slipping down her fingers. He didn't mean to stare. He had come in only for a cup of coffee after dropping his daughter at her grandma's house. He was exhausted, life as a single father had worn him thin, but something about the way she moved caught his attention. There was pain in her silence, the kind he recognized. Pain that didn't need words. She looked young, maybe 25, her hair pulled into a messy bun, strands falling around her tired face. The cheap uniform of the diner was too big on her, and her eyes, those gray, heavy eyes, seemed to hold more weight than someone her age should carry. She flinched slightly when he spoke. "You okay?" he asked softly. She froze. Then, with a forced smile, she whispered, "I'm fine, sir." But he knew that kind of fine. It was the same fine he told his daughter when she asked why mommy wasn't coming home anymore. He didn't push. Not yet. He just nodded, watching her walk away with trembling hands, holding a rag like it was the only thing keeping her upright. He thought about saying something, maybe even asking her name, but life had taught him that timing mattered. So he waited. The next night, he came again. And the next. Always sitting in the same booth, drinking the same black coffee. She began to notice. Maybe it was his quiet presence, maybe the kindness in his eyes, or maybe she just needed someone who looked at her without pity. Whatever it was, she started smiling a little when she saw him. One night, when the diner was empty, she finally spoke first. "You always come alone," she said gently, wiping down the counter near him. He nodded. "My daughter stays with her grandma during the week. I work nights. It's just easier." She hesitated. "Must be hard." He smiled faintly. "It is. But she's the reason I keep going." For the first time, she met his gaze fully, and he saw it. The pain behind her calm. The same exhaustion that comes from fighting battles no one sees. He wanted to ask, but instead, he said, "You remind me of her sometimes." "Your daughter?" she asked. "No," he said quietly. "Her mom." Silence filled the room, heavy and real. Then she turned away, gripping the counter so tightly her knuckles went white. "People leave," she whispered, almost to herself. "Sometimes they don't even say goodbye." He didn't ask who. He didn't have to. That night, when she thought no one was watching, she slipped outside behind the diner and broke down. He followed quietly, stopping a few feet away. She didn't see him at first, crying into her hands, her shoulders shaking with the kind of grief that doesn't make sound anymore. He didn't speak. He just took off his jacket and laid it over her shoulders. She turned, startled, but when she saw who it was, she didn't move. She just stood there, tears streaking down her face, holding the jacket like it was the first warm thing she'd felt in months. He didn't ask what happened. He didn't try to fix her pain. He just stayed. Sometimes presence was the only thing that healed. The weeks passed, and they fell into a quiet rhythm. He came for coffee. She refilled his cup without asking. They didn't talk much, but each silence felt like understanding. One evening, she showed him a small picture from her apron pocket, of a little boy, maybe 6, smiling with missing teeth. "My son," she said softly. "He's with my sister now. I'm trying to get my life together before I bring him back." He looked at her, really looked. "You're doing your best," he said. She nodded, fighting tears. "It doesn't feel like enough sometimes." "It never does," he replied. "But one day, he'll know you fought for him. That'll be enough." That night, she laughed for the first time. It was small, uncertain, but real. And he realized something: healing didn't always come from grand gestures. Sometimes it came from two broken people sharing silence at midnight. One rainy evening, he didn't come. She noticed immediately. His booth stayed empty, his cup untouched. She waited through her shift, glancing at the door every time the bell rang. Nothing. The next day, still no sign of him. By the third night, she couldn't take it. She asked her boss for a short break and stepped out, walking toward the small auto shop down the street, where he had said he worked. He was there, sitting beside a broken-down truck, his arm wrapped in a sling. "You didn't come," she said, trying to sound casual, but her voice cracked. He looked up, surprised, then smiled. "Got into a small accident on the way to work. I'm okay." Her eyes filled instantly. "You scared me." The words slipped out before she could stop them. He stood slowly, looking at her with a softness that made her heart ache. "You were worried?" She didn't answer. She didn't need to. The silence between them said everything. He took a step closer. "You're the first person who's cared in a long time." She swallowed hard. "Then don't disappear on me." He smiled. "I won't." Months later, the diner looked the same, but the people inside it didn't. She was laughing now, brighter, lighter. He came in with his daughter sometimes, a sweet little girl who would color at the table while her dad and the waitress talked about life. And one day, she brought her son back. The two kids played together in the corner while their parents watched with quiet smiles, the kind that carried both pain and peace. He reached for her hand across the counter. She didn't pull away. For the first time in years, she felt something she thought she'd lost: belonging. The world outside still carried noise, struggle, and scars. But inside that small diner, beneath the hum of fluorescent lights and the scent of fresh coffee, two hearts that had once been shattered found a way to beat together again. Because sometimes, love doesn't come with fireworks. Sometimes it starts with a whisper, a cup of coffee, and a single dad who noticed the tears on a woman's hands.